Okay, Nick, first of all, welcome to the KK Factor, the
Thank
Greek Eurobeat Show on RPP FM. As you would have heard, I have pre-warned our listeners. I believe that Australia needs to become resilient. They need to know exactly what you saw. It's very important for your mental health and your mental health. It's also very important for the community to know what everybody went through and to have a much better understanding. I believe filtering this is not the way to go if Australia needs to become a bit more resilient, especially in light of what's just happened. So the first thing I just want to also say and emphasise to the listeners that, you know, we're very good friends and I have been talking to you regularly in relation to how you're going with the whole incident. You are a professional in the media world with Greek City Times. You've seen many things, Nick, but this obviously is something at a different level. First of all, how are you doing right this moment?
I'm fine. Mentally, I'm sound. Um, a lot what I saw, basically, I kind of filtered out, and I was more interested in what happened and what really went on and how did it get to this point and why this particular cluster of people. As I was doing that, I was witnessing things on the ground because I was within the body where all the bodies were, and there was just mayhem. It was just total chaos. And even though I was looking at it, I have glimpses back to what I was seeing, but I was more focused on what was happening, why I was there. So my mental health, I wasn't just sitting there watching something, absorbing it, connecting to it and taking it all in. I was more, what's going on? And within about 5 minutes, I worked it out. Like it was because I'm a local, recognizing people that I know, went straight up to them, tell me, what do you know? And they just told me, and I'm like, person after person was telling me the same thing. I'm like, okay.
Nick, your team was also there and they were actually first to attend and to assist. As you said, you had one of your first aiders from Greek City Times there
Yeah,
who came to help and assist. Can you
yeah.
take us to that moment?
Yeah, well, here it was already down there. I was 5 minutes away because I live at Bronte, so I heard it all. Because I live on the beach, obviously the sound of the gunfire 2 beaches down was super loud. It was like fireworks. When I arrived, I saw Daniel there, and we basically went into work mode basically straight away, talking to people, videoing, and everything. At one point, there was someone that was unattended, and he went to go help, and someone basically said, "No, I'll do it." Basically, we didn't really, in the first 5 to 10 minutes, we really didn't video. We really didn't do much. We were more concerned about helping people. Um, Obviously, we had our cameras, but I think the human aspect of it all is it's not always about capturing the moment. It's always about helping one another. And what you were hearing and what you were witnessing was unprecedented. You imagine, what have we got? Say 10 victims that are deceased, but 29 others that are injured. Times that by 2, and people screaming and yelling. Can you imagine what kind of chaos, what was happening there? It was unprecedented. And then you've got the police trying to hold everybody back, and then you've got the first responders just coming, the sirens after siren after siren after siren. That was white noise at the end of the day, because you're more interested on helping people and seeing what was happening.
Nick, we saw there's been so many videos out there and throughout all the media's platforms, and we saw the size of those guns. We don't normally see those sort of things in most cases that are presented on the news. Very powerful rifles. What we do know at this stage is the father and son. The father had come to Australia. He got married here. His son was born here, an Australian citizen. They were part of a gun club, but they did go overseas at some point, and they had military training. this has all come about today. And those guns, unlike the pistols that our police carry on them, are far more powerful. So I know this is very distressing and I know it's difficult, but we have touched on it. And I would really like you to share what exactly you saw, that what these guns are capable of doing and what you actually saw, because not just you saw this, but young people saw it in the public. Our paramedics, our police, they had tears in their eyes, and many people will be saying, well, this is part of their job, but this is something that they've never seen before.
As you probably not know the layout of Bondi, where these guys were on the bridge to where the actual, say, ground zero, where I could say the carnage is what I called it on the day. I can't believe it was just total carnage.
That's the exact word you were telling me when we spoke the first time.
Yeah, it was just
everywhere.
Body parts flying out. It was just, now that's 100 meters away. It's not, they were not close. They were not close at all. They were at least 100 meters away, a good distance. But the people that were there, the festival, they were in this kind of enclosed area. So the gunman couldn't miss, but it was total random what was happening. All I can say is at 100 meters of what that rifle had done, the guns had done, was complete chaos and just maiming people to the point of just unrecognizable. And to kill people that quick, like, I won't go into graphics, what I saw, what happened, but there was a lot of blankets going over people relatively quick. Now, at 100 meters away, it's a very powerful rifle. Yes, it was very powerful. And apparently they were registered guns as well.
So okay, we've got carnage, we've got body parts. It's not like we watch a movie and someone gets shot in the head and you just see a little hole. Like when we spoke, Nick, you actually said to me, and I'm just going to say it, you said to me, their heads were gone. That's how powerful these rifles are.
Not total gone, but the brain parts of it. Yeah, it was pretty graphic, very graphic.
Yeah, it's not just like we see on a movie or a pistol shoots somebody. These are very powerful guns. And I would believe this is why also our police was seen with tears in their eyes, because who's trained for this in Australia?
Well, in Australia, they're not really trained at all. You can train as much as you like, but until you experience it. What I witnessed, the paramedics, there was police officers coming on the beach. I think they just walked away and they went to go do beach duty to close the beach or keep people away, and they all had tears in their eyes. And they were looking at me. She's going, "You've got to go. You've got to move on." I said, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "You just got to move on." I said, No, are you okay? And she just started crying. And I'm like, oh, shit. I know what you just saw. And I said, okay, let's go together. We'll go to the beach. I'm like, come on. And then I walked off, and there was interviews going on. Obviously, people were getting, like, miraculously, there was a couple of news reporters already there, and independent people just got their phones out and they started talking. Obviously, Bondi, Sunday afternoon, there'll be people of some kind of caliber would have been there that were doing this. And yeah, it was surreal. I didn't really process it until I went back and had a look at what actually the first videos, I've got a lot of videos on my phone I've never shared. I went and had a look and it was like, oh, wow. But yeah, everybody was running out and I was running in. Everybody was going, are you crazy? And I'm like, well,
you need to cover media and also you want to help.
Yeah, correct. It was more covering the media. Now, my other colleague that was there, he's covered a lot. He's covered some things in the States, and he's seen some. He said this was the worst he's ever seen, and he's seen a lot too. So, yeah.
And Nick, when it all unfolded, now what we can put together at this stage is the car pulls over, the gunman comes out, there's a young lady behind, sees someone comes out of this Uber car and thinks, okay, they're grabbing crutches.
No, it wasn't an Uber. It wasn't an Uber.
Okay. And then
he had a Hyundai. He parked it on Campbell Parade, just where the bridge is. They had ISIS flags.
Yep.
One on the windscreen, one on the back. And this is where it gets too personal for me, because this man, the first hero that no one's talking about, it's emerging now. And I know this gentleman for about 20 years. I've met his wife a few times. The news haven't said who it is, but I know who it is because I know he was there.
Can you give us his
and
first
him
name?
And his wife. No, his name's not released. I can't.
Okay.
It starts with a B.
Okay.
And I saw the video camera today, the dash cam footage of it, and he tried to help. He actually got the gun from his hands, and he was waving it around like a baseball bat. But unfortunately, the gunman had another gun in the car, got it out, shot him and his wife dead instant. They were the first to go.
These are the people that pulled up with the car. Is that correct? Because we had the young lady at the back that thought it was crutches, and then she realized it was a gun. Then she started running, telling people run. And then you see the footage of a car pulling up, getting out and wondering what's going on. And then you see something, and then, yeah.
No. There's too much information. These guys came out of a little white Hyundai on Campbell Parade. They put the ISIS flag up on the dash, like a sun cover.
Yeah.
And away they went. And they had multiple guns. And the son obviously went off, and the father got attacked by this person that I know. And he got the gun from him. He's waving it at him. He was trying to hit him like a cricket bat. But he just went to the car and got another gun and shot him and his wife instantly. And then he moved onto the bridge. But this is all coming out from this afternoon. The video was uploaded to a Chinese social media site.
Okay.
Obviously, the person who had the dash cam didn't want to be, obviously Chinese, but didn't want to be known.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Boris was he was the first. And
I'm so sorry, Nick. Somebody that you know.
Yeah. Look,
Nick.
I've reached out to the family members and all that. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Look, through a good friend of mine's daughter's best friend's grandmother was there that died. The lady that does my hair, her brother-in-law died. There was a lot of people that we're connected to that actually had some kind of tragedy there. It wasn't just an isolated event. It was random. And just total tragedy.
But obviously it was motivated by Islamic State ideology, hatred, which is really very un-Australian. There was a police officer, an ex-retired police officer, who went to do an act like a hero. He got shot. And then obviously we're looking at the gentleman who was shot multiple times. He was the first one that we saw that disarmed the father. But in doing so, we did see a skill, and which later I did get to hear his parents speak on the ABC. And the father did say that he had served as a police officer back in their hometown. And he came to Australia, obviously for a more peaceful life, has a fruit shop, runs a family business. So he waited. You could see that he waited till the shooter was unarmed and then went straight. And you could see the skill that he used to take the gun from him. And many people saying he should have shot him. Well, there was no ammunition there. But in doing so, that part, he did get shot at the start. It was 2 times, but no, he actually got shot multiple times. And the update at this point in time is that he's done very well, and he's doing well in hospital. Obviously, it's critical, but he's doing well. Thank goodness for that. And then you've got the young girl, the 10-year-old, which is just gut-wrenching thinking about it. It was.
Her parents were down at Bondi today. I actually did not go to Bondi today. There was a few people that went, like Pauline Hanson went, and a few others. Johnny Howard went. Steve Camper went, our minister he's a Greek minister.
Yeah.
He's our minister here for sports, tourism. multicultural. Steve went today. I haven't spoken to Steve personally. I've touched base with his team, but at this stage, it's very, what can I say? The Jewish community are rallying there together. They're singing their hymns. They're singing the Australian anthem. They're joining together as one.
That's so Australian, isn't it? We all come together.
Yeah.
We all do come together here.
I was there last night when the minister came, Tony Burke, in the dark of the night. It was 9:30, 10 o'clock. And yeah, he got heckled. He got heckled really bad.
We're going to touch base on the government side of things. I just also wanted to point out, because there's so much racism, especially against the Muslim people. Now, I have friends that are Muslim, and they're absolutely beautiful, beautiful human beings. But unfortunately, when these sort of things happen, it does create a stigma, and it's an unfair stigma. And I want to also mention that the gentleman that we all got to see on national TV, Dissam, the father, before he was shot, he's actually a Muslim. And it's disappointing that the media won't stress that. And whether it's politically incorrect, I don't care. People need to know that there is good in every race and there is bad in every race. And we do have a huge Muslim community here in Australia, and most of them are all very good people. They've all left their country to come here.
Rula, it's always the 5% that are the loudest.
That's the sad part. That is the sad part.
Okay, I can confirm.
Please.
Boris has been confirmed.
Okay.
I just got the message. It's on Channel 9 right now.
Okay.
So they've released that name. So he was actually
tell us about Boris.
Russian Jew. Yeah, he was a Russian Jew. He was an angel. He was a freaking angel. I won't talk much because I'm about to cry.
It's okay, Nick.
He was an innocent guy. No, he was an innocent guy. So like on not innocent. He was gentle. He was the most gentle. He spoke very softly and everything. But what I saw in that video, he was protecting others. He went into game mode, and Boris, Russia, grew up in Russia. So he's had army training. He's had it all. And he kicked into it, but he was the most, he was an angel. Anyway, there was a lot of angels that left that day.
There was a lot. There was.
From what I'm gathering, there was a lot of people that were beautiful people, and they left. They've left the game. So
Nick, look, they've left behind people now that are traumatized. They're going to be suffering.
Oh, it's just not people. They've left the community. They've left the world.
That's
actually,
right.
I'm telling you now, the Greek media in Greece
is
just non-stop. The first night after, they wanted me to wake up, the media in Greece wanted me to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do the 7 News or the nightly news. And I go, it's 1 o'clock now. I'm drained. You got no idea. Yeah, but I'm like, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. No, it's not going to happen. I rang a couple of colleagues and I said, look, and they're like, no way. It's like 5 o'clock. No, you're not going to wake up. And then I got up in the morning and I had 30 missed calls from all these Greek numbers. Greece want to know. Everybody wants to know. Every foreign journalist was down there yesterday. You had international, they were flying in from all over Australia, obviously, to come wherever they work and wherever they base. But the whole world, this has touched the world. You know why it's touched the world? Because it's Australia, it's Bondi, and we've known to be the nice, happy place in the world. And
where most migrants all decided to migrate to for a better and a peaceful life.
Meat pies and kangaroos.
That's it.
That's
Nick,
what it's all about.
Let's just veer off from that because I know it's very distressing. Let's talk a little bit about the government. Now, I'm very supportive of the government. It doesn't matter who's running. To me, we need to follow a lot of things, but there's so much anger at this stage. I'm going to be very respectful in how I say this. There is a lot of anger from presidents, prime ministers from all over the world, especially from Israel, and they're angry at our prime minister they're angry and they talk about October. They talk about so much, and their main question is, why did you let this happen? I guess in one part you could say it's unfair to blame one person like this is your fault, but then on the other hand, people see it as you're the leader, you have been pre-warned, you haven't kept the Jewish community safe. We've had leaders from the Jewish community saying that we told you we're not safe. You need to put things in place. You let this happen. He didn't let this happen. I don't think he expected something like this to happen.
Everybody knew it was going to happen. Look,
Yeah,
the Jewish community here in Sydney formed their own protection and their own security company and their own everything. I know.
Isn't that sad that they have to do that because they can't trust our authorities?
They did. I know personally. I know a lot because this is where I live. And
please share, Nick.
Well, no, they did. They tried to protect themselves, and believe it or not, right there and then, this is where the questions are. I won't get into it. I'm not going to buy into it just yet. But there was police. You know when we have the Oakley Festival, because you're in Melbourne.
Yes.
We call the police and we say, we're having a festival, 10,000 people, 10 police officers. Yes?
Yes.
Well, the Jewish community asked for police officers to be there, which they were, and they had private security as well, unarmed, obviously, and this still happened. They protected themselves. That's why these guys were at a distance, obviously. I'm just speculating, but there was police there. The guys that I was talking to said there was police, but as a policeman, you've got a little gun, and these guys have got a rifle.
That's right.
They're not going to be a hero straight away. They got to work out. They got to ask for backup. The police station is 5 minutes up the road, literally 5 minutes up the road. And not even. And that's walking distance, by the way, too. Cars, a couple of minutes. They drove past because they saw, and they're going, that girl, that lady police officer froze when she saw it. I think I'd freeze too if I didn't have a rifle in the car. And
or if you don't have a powerful rifle, we've got to understand, Nick, that these people can shoot such a distance.
I know.
For our police, they can't just randomly use a little pistol because they could kill an innocent person.
We're not America. Close. America, they have the big, powerful guns in the boot. We're not America. If this was America police, they would have opened their boot up and away they went. But we're not like that. So, bottom line, you go back to the government. Your original, what you were saying, I think it's beyond the government. It's a worldwide Western issue at the moment. It's not our government. Look, Trump stopped a lot of this. Is trying to stop. He's the only one that's doing it. Have you ever noticed that? All the other Western, Canada, UK, Germany, all that, they're just continually turning a blind eye. Now you can't really. I think there's a lot more to this. You can sit there but the government's doing what the rest of the world's doing, the Western world, I should say.
Nick,
even in Greece, it's all happening. But again, you're going back to the radicals. Like you said, like the majority of Muslims, I know a lot of Muslims, I know a lot of Christian Lebanese, Christian people from the Middle East, and they're Christians and Muslims. They're really nice people.
That's right.
They are really nice people. It's always the minority in life of anything, is it not? It's only a small percentage, and they're the ones that create the biggest noise. So it's all about divide and conquer in life, is it not? That's the way it's always been for thousands of years, divide and conquer. And that's what they try to do. And it only takes a small percentage to divide. And that's what happens.
Nick, the ACO apparently had their eyes on the sun. And according to what we're reading and hearing, they were looking into it. So obviously he's on the radar. And I think this is where a lot of people are getting angry, saying, you've got someone on the radar and yet you allowed this to happen. Like,
it's because we're too nice in Australia.
Should be enough to say, I want your family out of this country.
No, they've probably got to tick 10 pages of boxes before they do something about it. That's how we work here in Australia. That's how our culture is, and that's how it is. If you go to China or you go to Russia, it would have been what the first tick would have been booted. Or any hardline country. unfortunately, we've got protocols, we've got rules and procedures, and they're following it. And then they'll go, "Why did you kick him out? You're being racist."
See, that's the thing. I was just about to say now, we don't give enough, the people here in Australia, we don't give enough support to the government to implement things and make things harsher so crime can decrease as it is overseas. Because one, we want it. And once we've implemented, we're like, well, no, you can't do that. We just look at now in Victoria with the crime and, everyone's screaming at the Allen's government saying, do something about youth crime. So she goes and implements something saying, okay, adult crime, adult time. To me, that would work because then I would say to my little son, Johnny, hey, listen, if you do it, you're going to jail. So he'll think twice, and the parents behind it will think twice. But once it's been implemented, then it's like, you can't put a 14-year-old in jail. You can't do this. What about his mental health? So it's like, what do we want? Because,
Yeah, I know.
If we don't support it, it's not going to work because then the youth are going to take it as a joke because the youth that are out there doing this, the parents think it's a joke as well.
Yeah, look, we don't have as bad a problem up here in Sydney as Melbourne.
There's been a lot of shooting though in Sydney of late.
Yeah, I know. The shootings are all in-house, as I could say. It's all retaliation. It's not random. This is the only random shooting. Every other shooting, if they get it wrong, because they're not the smartest cookies, but some were, oops, we got the wrong person shooting. They were always targeted. It was always out west. It was always gang related. It was just not random. And look, the Bondi Junction stabbing, again, I was minutes up from there. I had the phone call come up, but that was more into the shopping centre. That was
That's right.
really, you couldn't really go in anyway. It was all you're dealing with was the people that were screaming and thought it was a gunfight, but it wasn't. It was the policewoman that shot the gentleman. That's an isolated event. They knew the drugs that they were taking, they were hallucinating and all that. Look, I think he was on the radar. But anyway, that's all well documented and everything. But again, that's mental health, that one.
It all goes back to mental health. Nick, the media has touched saying that this is worse or as bad as the Port Arthur massacre. Now, I've been to that site in Tasmania. It's very isolated. This incident was out in the public. This incident is like, for us, it could be like at the Glendy Festival. The Jewish community were having a festival when this occurred. It's a public space.
First day of Hanukkah, yeah. First day, yeah. And it's just not. Look, my personal trainer Pete, he was there. He was 10 seconds away from disaster, I call it. He actually walked past, and literally he walked past, and he goes, "Oh, here they are. They're having a good time. The families were there and all that." And he looked at it, goes, "Oh, Jewish festival." As he went from that grass to the next patch of grass to go to his car, he heard the shots come out, and then he started running. So he thought it was fireworks, like everybody. I thought it was fireworks. The guns really were that loud. They were like fireworks, and they weren't fireworks. And even when I heard it at 6:45 at night, I'm like, who's putting fireworks up this time of the night when it's daylight outside? How crazy. But it wasn't.
Nick, how can we support the people from your opinion? Because it's not just the Jewish community that needs so much love and support. It's also the young people who've witnessed and seen what you saw. And it's these young that we're worried about. They can do alcohol to unsee what they saw later.
Hats off to the New South Wales government. Look, Chris, he's a realist. Chris, I love Chris as a person, as he's a common sense kind of guy. Now it all starts from the top. The Premier. You know what I saw there last night?
Please.
There would have been at least 5 to 6 stands. We're talking stands, a stick that said mental health, and they had mental health helper all over the place around Bondi, where the flowers were getting laid. So in saying that, the government is out on the front foot already helping with mental health. These ladies were sending it, and I walked past one and I was looking her in the eye, and she's looking at me. It's like she knew I knew something, but she knew she wasn't going to respond. Hang on, sorry, the camera. She wasn't going to respond until I actually engaged, and I didn't. I didn't engage because I was there because the Greek media wanted some other footage and blah 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 blah. And I saw it one stand after the other stand after the other stand. Like there was mental health stands everywhere, and there was ladies in high vis vests there, and they had health worker, mental health. They actually said mental health. So there is support out there. A lot of people are ringing. Today, look, you do the 2-day rule, let it go for a couple of days and touch base. Well, today was the touch base for me. The amount of phone calls I've had today, are you okay day? That's what I called it for myself. And I'm fine. I had a lot of phone calls today. Like literally, I've had a lot of phone calls. And you know who your friends are. You shouldn't say that, but you know who's thinking of you. You know what I mean? I had a lot of phone calls today. People genuinely helping one another. It's one of the media guys that I know, he lives by himself. I go, hey, you're right. Like, what are you going to, he goes, no, I've got St. John friends. I've got blah, 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 blah. He rattled them off. He was obviously shaken, this guy. And I go, you sure you're going to be right? He goes, no, Nick, I'm right. And I was on, what's it called? The radio station that goes around Australia in the mornings. What's it called?
Yeah, was that Nova? You did,
Nova, yeah.
You did mention Nova to me, yeah.
Yeah, they go to me, are you okay, Nick? Before I even went on, are you okay? What have you got? I go, I've got family and all that. And I had my daughter screaming above, Dad, can you be quiet? Because I went outside and she could hear from the room upstairs. Anyway, they go, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. Have you got family? Is everything all good? Blah, blah, blah. Even on the radio, even everywhere, and yourself, you've rung me nearly every day. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay, but okay, that's just myself. And I'm sure it's amplified across everybody else that was affected. Basically, humanity comes together and helps one another, and that's how we roll.
Do you think Australia will become resilient to this sort of thing? The Australian people?
It will bring a lot of people together. Everybody's in fear at the moment. They're not going to go to Bondi Junction. They're not going to. You go to Bondi Junction. Oh, so when Bondi Junction happened, you think Bondi Junction was going to close down, it was going to ghost down. It's back to normal. Humans, we forget as humans, but we'll never forget what happened with Bondi. I'm sure there'll be a memorial. There'll be things always reminding us what actually happened. Will we come together? Of course we'll come together, but as long as we don't live in fear, because that's what it's all about, living in fear. I don't live in fear. If I lived in fear, I'd be up on Marks Park where I left the car to go down, and the amount of people that were up there just standing there, and they're looking at me running down, and like, yeah.
We can't live in fear, Nick. It is Australia.
Yeah, there's so many random people coming to me, texting me too, and I think they're asking for help, to be honest, because I was down there, or they know that I was in the mix, and they're looking for answers. People are looking for answers all the time, and
people need answers to this. This is why people, get angry, and we need to blame someone, because in our minds we can't justify it. We can't make sense of it. It wasn't like a gang or two random people. It was a father and son. That just throws everything out in the span. You can't. It's hard to understand how a father and son can do this.
I know. A lot of people are saying it goes deeper, but we'll wait and see.
Nick, you've got family, you've got children. How old are your children?
22 and 20 now. They're old.
Have they discussed it with you, asked you? How are they feeling?
No, well, my son came down yesterday. One of the crew. His son's a bit shaken by what he's seeing. Yeah. He never came to the Bondi Junction one. He never came to the other one. Like, there was another, I can't remember, a few years ago. But yeah, I think it was more cold than anything, because he went down in a t-shirt and it got cold. You should have seen that night that it actually happened. At about 8 o'clock or 8:30, this wind came at 100 kilometers an hour. And I'm not kidding you, it was 100 kilometers an hour, because the bins, everything was just, it was like nature was just blowing whatever happened away. It was just insane.
Wow.
But my kids, I forgot to mention that one. I've actually got I've got videos of that actually happening. It's just the wind came out of nowhere, it ripped all the police tape everywhere off, like the police tape was flying in the sky. The bins were flying everywhere. But no, my kids are fine. Like mentally, they know my kids are very mentally strong. Well, my whole family's mentally strong. We're super strong. Like, it's like everybody's like, all right. Like you're right, Dad, and all that kind of thing. But yeah, no, it's all good.
Okay, Nick, where are you currently now? We can see the backdrop of Sydney.
At a friend's place.
You're at a friend's place. Okay.
I won't show you the whole, but you can.
It's a beautiful view there.
Actually, no, that's only the casino. Anyway,
is it? Okay.
I've got the harbour over the other side, but we're over having a few drinks.
And I'm glad that you had a little bit of a giggle now. That makes me feel a little bit more.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's just, am I fine? Yeah, I'm fine. Like,
as fine as can be.
I think when people keep on asking me, I'm thinking, am I fine? I started questioning stuff, but I'm fine. I'm solid. Look, it's not like I haven't done this before. I haven't seen not like no one's seen what I saw and everybody else saw, but it's not the first rodeo of going into something. Okay. There was another incident where this son came out of a mental institute just up from my work. He went 1 block away. He went up to his mother with a pair of a spatula and carved her up broad daylight in the afternoon. And the tradies, she ran outside. She managed to get outside, and that's where he carved her up. And this is in the east too. This is in Randwick. And the tradies tackled him. He got away and he ran down the street, and then he ended up in front of my business. And I was actually fit. I ran over and went to the guys and I go, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" And they go, he's just killed somebody. And I'm like, "What?" I said, stop hitting him. They go, "No, he's killed someone." I said, "Where did he kill him?" And that's where I made the first triple O call.
He got away and he ran down the street.
Then I went up and saw it.
And he ended up in front of my business. And
so have I seen things like this before?
Yeah.
And I knew the lady. She actually came 6 months later. She walked past and she stopped and she goes, "I want to give you a hug." And I go, "Was it you?" And I didn't even recognize her at the time. Wow. I didn't know which lady it was because it was a block of units up the road. It was her. And I'm like, holy shit. And she stopped and I gave her a hug. And she's obviously moved out from now. But yeah, it was one of those things. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm thank you for asking all the time, Ben.
That's okay. Tomorrow I'll call you. In a couple of days I will call you again.
Thank you.
Nico, thank you so much. I want you to stay safe. Enjoy the outdoor where you are right now. Have some fun with your friends. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know this was a very difficult conversation and, you're vulnerable and it needed to be said. You're a great person to look up to in the media. And I also want to thank you for all the support that Greek City Times also gives me as well.
Yeah, through Greek City Times, we've actually done amazing coverage in Greece. Like, I've actually got a Dropbox and all the media around in Greece, like nearly every one of them, like literally nearly every one of them called me or know of me. And they actually,
yep.
Sorry, you're there? They're thankful of what I've
we
done.
Can see you.
Like, yeah, the media in Greece, all of them, like every major, nearly everything. They're so thankful. They wanted me to get on so many times and talk, but in my years of doing this, when you do something, you got to do it either properly, you can't half do it. My Greek's not 1,000%. And I avoided going on live, but I did go on a few times. And I told them straight, but this is the first time I've actually sat and spoke. I think the English paper, and I don't know if you want to get a hold of me too, they might do it. But I haven't really spoken about it to anybody. You're the first, actually.
Thank you.
I've done multiple, like 5 second, 10 second. Yesterday when we crossed over to Ert and Omega and all Antenna, everybody, we were crossing over. I had Peter from the restaurant, and I had his cousin there with me, And Paul, the guy that had the bullets flying around his head when it all happened too, he was Greek. And basically, I've more helped people through the videos that I've sent in Greece. I'm talking the photos that I've captured with my camera. And actually, I didn't even take my camera that day too.
Wow.
When it all was going down, when I was going down into the garage, I went past where I have all my cameras, and I looked at it and I go, if this is what they were saying, this is not a camera moment. Sorry. And that's where I only had my phone. So yeah. So no, it's all good.
Thank you, Nick. And I have had on the screen for those viewers that have been watching through LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, I do have on the screen the barcode for Greek City Times website, but otherwise in all the platforms, social platforms, it's Greek City Times. And Nick, thank you so much. We've got our next guest waiting. I will play a song and get our counsellor, Mark Scott, on following this interview. Nico, from my καρδιά, ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. We love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
We'll talk soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.